what is happening here? Like, did somebody get professional? I assure you we didn't.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Zero Krusty Krabs in the building. We have a heavy set crab. That'd be me right here. I'm going to start the show today by doing something that I consider to be probably one of the most annoying things you can do to people on radio. I'm going to talk about things going on here right now that you can't see. Making it possibly the most irrelevant part of your day. Also, I'm going to change mics this weekend, I think. I've decided this microphone is way too sensitive, and it's probably why I got it for free. Because it's just too much. It's picking up everything. Like, it picks up all that. Like, there is no... And I got it set right, I think. Yeah. I got it set to cardioid. Super cardioid. Excuse me. So it should be, like, really... You should only hear the sound of my voice right here. You shouldn't be hearing, like, all kinds of typing and stuff like that. That's silly. Although, I don't know what just happened there. But anyway, you shouldn't hear that, and that sucks. But other stuff that's going on in microphone-related news. I have inverted, or reverted, probably, my microphone. I've decided I like it under instead of coming in from above. I'm not sure phallically what that means, but I'm sure somebody will be happy to tell me. You can join the conversation at 99WNRR.com, or if that's too hard to remember, just go to hardrocklunchbox.com, and there's a link to the live show right there, and that is always true. Plus, right there you can hear all the other Hard Rock Lunchbox Bossies that I've posted over the years. But, so I've inverted it to have it under coming up as opposed to above coming down. And again, phallically, I'm not sure what that represents. But it won't matter to you because it'll be 2 weeks till you see it. But it is time to talk about the elephant in the room also that you can't see. So, in 2 weeks from today is the... Let's go with 2nd of September, I think. So in 2 weeks from today, it'll be the 16th of... did I say December? It's the 2nd of September, and in 2 weeks, it'll be the 16th of September. And if you feel like checking out Strangerhood TV at exactly midnight and 1 second, you will see the top 20 for today being released on Strangerhood TV, and you will see what is clearly behind me, which is the official backdrop banner of the Hard Rock Lunchbox and the top 20. I've been complaining for a long time about how the back of the room looked, and it looked like I was just some loser doing a podcast from his basement because, yes, all of those things. But now I have a banner behind me. I know. Honestly, I can't believe it either. If I figure out how to do it, can't do it right now, but I figure out how to do it, I will take a picture of said banner, and maybe I'll just post it here on the chat. Mainly, what the hell is this? Oh, sorry. It's fall here for some reason, and I have the window open, and I actually just heard... That's how sensitive this microphone is. I literally just heard birds from outside on my goddamn Hard Rock Lunchbox, and that aggression will not stand, man! A little quote from the Big Lebowski for you. The only quote I know from the entire movie, by the way, So yeah, I have a brand new banner. I feel like it's a brand new show. Like, what is happening here? Like, did somebody get professional? I assure you we didn't. But somebody did figure out how to order something online. I got a nice step banner. It's got the logos for the Hard Rock Lunchbox up here, which you can kind of see. And then it goes to Revel 9, which is also the band I'm in. And then it goes top 20. Right? That's what we're doing here. That's what we do. We're doing a thing, and this is the thing we're doing. I'm very excited about my banner, by the way. I think it really just adds an element of professionalism to what is, at its core, a really professional, unprofessional show, which is the Hard Rock Lunchbox. I mean, you can say a lot about, and I do, about how stupid this show is, or ridiculous, or completely unnecessary, but it is fairly professional. It is always done, and it gets done every Thursday, or mostly every Thursday, and, you know, we get that stuff posted. Aside from technical difficulties and all that other stuff, it just does manage to get done, and we are 8 years into this stupid thing, so I feel like it's about time we had a banner, actually, because that's what's up, you know, and if I have guests back onto Hard Rock Lunchbox, I'll take pictures of them in front of this, and, you know, depending on how big they are, because it's not a very big banner. It's not a very big basement. It's not a very big show, so, like, everything in proportion is what I think it should be. Also, today, and this has nothing to do with the top 20, today I have a bunch of brand new bumpers. Yeah. Yes. The chat has spoken, and I have acquiesced once again and created some new bumpers. I don't have multiple shows and movies and stuff, but I do have one, and it'll be kind of a theme, so you'll have to listen for that as we go throughout the day. And just to cover up some other programming notes, the top 20 from August 19th is out today. It is basically me playing clips from My Bacon is My Podcast interview, which, by the way, still just sinking in the ratings for views. So I'm going to take that as a personal attack on me, that nobody's interested in anything I have to say. And I'm just going to let that sit up here in the back of my brain. And then every time I'm not, or feeling a little bit better about myself, I'm going to let that just chip away at that, so I just feel like dog shit the rest of the day. So that's awesome. But I'm talking about how the chat actually works. I'm also talking about, like, the Jersey Shore Festival and why it's such a good festival and why I like it, blah, 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 blah. Talking about conflicts of interest in Florida because Death by DeSantis is basically a giant dick. All that other good stuff. And that's out as of this morning. Bacon is My Podcast programming note. They have a full interview with Nominee, and they also have a full interview out with Flor Shomo. I was watching that one. It's a really good interview, and I don't mean to sound surprised. Of course it's a really good interview. That's what I mean to sound like. But it's a really good interview. I thought she was really entertaining, and I like the concept of her top 5 podcast. I have not listened to it yet, but I am going to try and listen to it just strictly based on how the interview went, because I thought it was that interesting. They also have their new 7 questions. It's either out today or tomorrow. I forget when it comes out. I think it came out last night, right? Wednesday nights are anyone from BIMP here? No. They're doing an interview with Paul from Silverstein, so they are now 2 for 5, I guess. 5-piece Silverstein, I think. They're 2 for 5. So that interview will be next week, but the 7 questions are out today, and of course 7 questions are always funny, and a really good quick glimpse into what to expect when the new interview comes out. Whew. I'm tired from that. Like, I don't even do much work on this show, but just honestly reading the morning announcements. You know, it's funny. I used to do that. So when I was in high school, I was a DJ still, but I was a DJ on the high school radio station. I don't know what other high schools really did so much. I didn't really care so much, and I don't know really what they do now. But I know that Northport, which is where I went to school, was a very, let's say, it's not really progressive. It was more open than anything else. We had an open campus and an open commons until my senior year. My senior year, they actually closed the campus, and only seniors were allowed to leave. So that actually worked out really well for me. But we had a beautiful commons at Northport, and we had wells. We called them wells. So we had this giant open space, and when it was just 3 grades, 10, 11, and 12, what you had is you had these. I don't even know what to call them other than wells. They're like, you would step down like 3 steps into just an area, and the sophomores had one, and the juniors had one, and the seniors had a huge one, And it was like the seniors had a fireplace in our well, like, and all it really was just like a kind of like a place to hang out. Like picture like a library, a school library, with just like the seating, and that's what it was. But it was huge, and the radio station for the school was directly above that, and we actually played music. Like we played honest to God tapes and records and stuff like that to people hanging out in the Commons, which at any given time was a lot of people, because back then you could also have periods off. You didn't have to be forced into study hall because you weren't treated like cattle back then. So it was always common for people to be like off during lunch or just off some other period. So there were always people in the Commons and listening, and you would just pick and play music for them. And I always thought that was like such a cool thing, but I didn't really realize how cool it was or how unique it was, because it wasn't just something that people did. But they don't do that kind of stuff anymore, I don't think, anywhere. I think at best you get your morning announcements. Oh, that was my point. So every morning, because I had the first show in the morning, because I had first period off, and I, at the time, was getting driven to school by my best friend, so I had to come into school. So I was just doing the radio first thing, but I was responsible for doing the morning announcements. Which this totally just reminded me exactly of doing all those morning announcements. Man, I did that. That was fun. That was a long time ago. I've been in radio a long time. And zero success doing it, I must say. But what are you gonna do? So I wasn't really sure what the theme of today was going to be, because there's so much going on politically in the world. Like it just I'm trying so goddamn hard to like not make this show political, but so I'm gonna not, but I'm going to urge you to keep an eye on what's going on COVID wise in the South, and what's going on in terms of your constitutional rights in Texas. You should keep a very strong eye on that, because I have a lot to say about that, but I don't think this is the right forum to do it. But I would want everybody to sort of check out what's actually happening and maybe understand what the overreaching implications are, and not focus specifically on the matter at hand, because that is the issue that it's based on is divisive. The manner at which they're going after it is draconian and really, really unconstitutional, because it's bad. It's the Nazis meet Salem Witch Trials meet the Catholic Inquisition. Like there's a lot of bad stuff going on. So I would just ask that everybody kind of read up on it. There's been articles in The Nation and Mother Jones and Vice, plenty of information to read up on. And again, don't get fixated on what they're telling you it's about. Be very careful about what the overreaching implications are, because anytime there's a law that comes down, or a standing, or a statute, or a precedent, it becomes the basis for the next thing, and that's what you need to worry about. Regardless of your stance on the key issue or the core issue, be careful about what these laws are going to be able to do, and the people in power that will use any means necessary to stay in power, to keep their money, and to control you. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But let's turn to global warming, shall we? Yeah, I like global warming. Why do I like global warming? Because it is something that we can actually see, right? Now, I've said forever that I think liberals in general and progressives have possibly the worst PR teams in the world, because, and even I just said it, like global warming, which it's not. They've retracted that name, right? Like global warming and defund the police, and these are all horrible mechanisms for describing something that people want done. So really the core of the issue is climate change, right? And scientifically, there is no denying that it's happening, right? That's agreed upon. What people fight on is what is the cause of it, right? No science person and no person of any authority, as far as I'm aware, is denying the existence of a change in the climate. It's really just about what the cause is for it. But what I like about it And again, global warming is a bad name for it, because it's not really just about global. As anybody in the Northeast knows, in the winter, it's not really about warming at that point. I mean, it is technically correct because it is a heating up of the atmosphere, but climate change is just more appropriate because it's more accurate, and then you don't have to deal with dummies taking pictures of themselves in the snow, being like, "Oh, global warming, huh? Wish that would get here." Like, you know, dummies all the way up to the executive branch of the government saying that. Like, even Trump had said that. Like, "Oh, look at the global warming. Look, it's so cold." Like, yeah, that's not what it means, dude. Like, and all it really does is just highlight somebody's ability to misunderstand very simple science. So, but you know, as we all know, Americans were just killing it educationally, and by killing it, I mean becoming dumber and dumber and dumber every single year, which is impressive. I didn't think we could get dumber, but we did. But anyway, so this whole thing about climate change, and if you don't know anything about climate change, I'll give you my 30-second tutorial. As a planet, any planet, not just ours, any planet warms up, what happens is the atmosphere and the weather in it is heat-driven. That's how it works. You heat up the oceans, you heat up the land, air and moisture rise. The more you heat that up, the more air and moisture rise. The more you heat something up, the quicker things move. That's true. You see how fast an ice cube moves? Really slow. You see how fast the water, that's melted ice, water moves? It moves pretty fast. You want to compare water with steam? Steam moves very fast. Those are the three states of matter, right? You got solid. I mean, we're not doing any quantum mechanics here, so everybody in the chat can just settle down if you're here for your quantum physics lesson. So you have three states of matter. You have solid, you have liquid, and you have gas, right? There's some exceptions about how things work out there, but again, that's not this show. You want to ask more about physics and quantum mechanics, you should absolutely message me at monty@cravingstrange.net, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So you have those three states of matter, and the reason you have those three states of matter is because as you move through them, the molecules in them move faster and faster. That's why the solid ice cube doesn't really move so much, but water moves a little bit more, and steam moves even more than that, faster and faster and faster. So as things heat up, this is science, this is not conjecture, this is not philosophy. As things heat up, things move faster. So as your atmosphere and your weather heats up, things move faster. That's just how they do it. And because they move faster, they're able to actually whip up and sustain more energy, which allows them to become bigger. That's why if you ever look lately at a map of like a tropical storm or a hurricane or some of these fronts, even just like the super high temperatures we've been having this summer, it's because the mass, the high pressure mass, is huge. And the reason it feels a little bit different is because it's bigger than they ever were before, because there's more energy in the atmosphere, and things with more energy can do more and be bigger. That's how that works. We were having a lot of air. We were having the same air as Jacksonville, Florida, most of the summer. That should sound odd to you because, generally speaking, whenever we had a high-pressure system, we used to have air from the Carolinas, which are, for those of you geographically impaired, not as far as Jacksonville, Florida. Right. So if our air seemed a little bit more dumber, possibly more racist, or definitely anti-science or anti-women, that's why. I'm kidding. That's conjecture, not science. So why do I like it so much? Because you can see climate change. You can see its effects. And then you can talk to dumb people and ask them to explain why we had 4 freaking tornadoes in the Northeast yesterday. Do you know where tornadoes are supposed to be? Tornado Alley. They're supposed to be in Oklahoma. They're supposed to be in Kansas. They're supposed to be in those states that only dumb people want to live in because they have air that is trying to kill them. And honestly, good. Fine with that. You know, like, if you don't want to live where the air can kill you, don't. But if you do, fine. Like, you want to live in a trailer in Tornado Alley on the panhandle of Oklahoma, good luck to you. Absolutely. I, however, live on Long Island, just outside of New York, where we don't have stuff like tornadoes. Yeah, I'm going to have to worry about that big goddamn tidal wave someday, but fortunately, that's not today. So That's the poison that I picked when I decided to live here. What I don't need is tornadoes. And so what I would like people to explain to me that don't think that climate change is a real thing because science and all that other stuff, explain to me why there's tornadoes out here, because I can explain it. And the real question is, can you? You can take all 18 of your chromosomes and try and figure that out. But here's the deal. Intelligent people with science understanding can show you why these things are happening. But any dumb dick can stand outside in the middle of a tornado in, I don't know, rural New Jersey and be like, that's not right. And every single one of those people should start understanding that it doesn't matter who's causing climate change. It matters that it happens and that we should take it seriously. So when I rail against people that were like, good thing we pulled out of the Paris Accord, like, this is your fault. And you can say whatever you want about the current administration or the last administration, but the fact that we rejoined the Paris Accord on climate change, maybe it's bullshit. Maybe it's not going to fix anything, but at least they're talking about it, and at least they're making an effort, and maybe we can reduce the number of tornadoes in my freaking backyard to, I don't know, the zero it's supposed to be. And we can put them back and let all the people in the great states of like Texas and Mississippi and Alabama and sure as F Oklahoma, they can deal with them because maybe God will just protect them. Isn't that what they do out there? And I don't mean to slam God. Jesus is a huge, huge fan of Hard Rock Lunchbox and a personal friend. But if he were to blow up either of those states or, say, Florida's Panhandle, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? I'm Mitch Hedberg. That's right.